The showdown between Elon Musk and Trump over this big, beautiful bill. Now, here's something that's really kind of odd, and that is you remember that as the bill was being discussed in the House, you had these sort of hardcore Republican budget cutters, right? Guys, Chip Roy was in that group, Thomas Massey was in that group, there were many others. A lot of them coming out of the House Freedom Caucus, and their view was we're not signing on this bill unless there are further budget cuts. Right? Essentially, what happened is that the Trump administration was able to prevail on those guys and say, "Look, let's get it through." They did make some compromises, but not many. So the bill as is was very acceptable to Trump. I think that's ultimately why everybody kind of folded and signed, at least enough to get it across. Now, the reason I mention all this is that at that point, Elon Musk didn't say anything. Elon Musk was pretty quiet. Now that the bill has been approved in the House, and it's now gone to the Senate, and the Senate needs to sign off on it, and there's some holdouts, but I think there's going to be enough to pass it in the Senate. Elon Musk is like, kill the bill. This will bankrupt the country. I'm only saying this because, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Elon Musk. And I think on the substance, his basic point, which is we cannot take in $3.6 trillion and spend $6. That has got to stop. Who could disagree? I mean, I agree 100% with that. But the political timing of Musk to me is a little awkward. He could have had more impact on the bill early on, but he waited and let the bill like go across the finish line, at least in the House. And now he's like, let's go back to the drawing board. And I can kind of see why not only Trump, but also like Mike Johnson, probably also Thune, are like, wait, what's up with you now where you're suddenly throwing this major like tantrum over the bill? So my question is not about the merits, on which I agree with Elon Musk, but about the timing of this critique. What do you make about it? Have you any thoughts about this?
Yeah. I mean, he marches to his own
yeah. I mean, he is, I mean, I got to say, and this is a good thing, he's politically fearless. It doesn't matter that he's been seen like every day with Trump. He's been going to all these meetings. If he thinks this is bad for the country, I've got to say, I think he is truly America first in that sense. He cares about the country.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want the country to go down the tubes.
Right. But I don't think, how I always talk about, in Venezuela, people don't like Maria Corina because they don't think she's far right enough. I'm like, guys, you can't go from far left communist to far right. You just can't.
In one stroke.
In one stroke. You have to kind of go in increments. You have to meet in the middle. And then from there, fight it out after you get there. I kind of think the same here in this case. I don't think we're going to solve our debt problem at all. And I don't think we would solve it even if we were able to slash, $2 trillion. I don't think we would. How many trillions of dollars are we in debt?
Well, we're up
like
38.
30 something. Yeah. So
moving close to 40.
So I think it's kind of like that ship has already sailed. I think we are going to be in debt no matter what. But the problem is this bill, if not signed, the tax cut will like expire, right? And
the tax cuts, I mean, it's much more than that. I mean, the bill is really good on border security. It hires 10,000 new border patrol agents.
Besides that, I'm sure that's great. However, do you want your taxes to go up 68%? I think that's what Trump said that would happen.
Yeah, the truth of it is there was a very good Trump tax cut in 2017, but it has an expiration date.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So the idea that we should be giving more of our tax money to the government is outrageous, because those guys, if they even knew that there's another dollar like on its way, they would start spending it immediately.
That reminds me of that Instagram thing that with Dave Ramsey, when that guy called in and he was Korean, right? He calls in and he goes, "Hey, Do you think it's bad that, like, my wife doesn't know that we're millionaires? Remember that?
You mean that he wasn't fessing up about how much money he had?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Dave Ramsey's like, what? Your wife doesn't know that you're a millionaire? And well, actually, no, because she's a really big spender. And I'm afraid if she finds out how much money we have in the bank, she's going to go nuts and she's going to spend more. He goes, I think you have bigger problems. You know, he's like,
although this I was kind of, you were listening to it and I was kind of overhearing it. I had some sympathy for the guy.
No.
I have to say, well, no, I don't agree with him.
No.
I do think that marriage is based upon full disclosure.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, but here's what I mean.
Is there something I need? Is there something I'm supposed to know?
No. I think the guy was in a bit of a bind because I think what he was saying, and look, it's his own fault because what he should have done is upfront. You know, first of all, I don't know how long he's been married or any of that, right?
5 years. 5 years.
Oh, 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got the idea that what happened is he got married first. Then he discovers that his wife is like a big spender. Then he decides, well, look, I'm going to have to sort of deal with this, but I better not let on because if she thought we have all this money, she's going to ramp up the spending.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this train has been off the rails the whole time.
From the beginning. Yeah, no, but I mean, I think Dave Ramsey was horrified. You know how he likes to save money, right?
Oh, yeah.
He obviously doesn't want the wife to go nuts, but he's like, listen, you're like not being honest about your financial with your wife, and that's a very bad problem.
This really shows you, we'll obviously come back to our topic about the big, beautiful bill, but what I think
it
shows,
reminded me of that because of the people.
Well, I think it shows you, though, something very good about Dave Ramsey, which is that ultimately he's a finance guy, but his financial advice is embedded inside of a moral framework, right? So, for example, what he would say here is saving money is good, but having a proper family structure,
honest relationship
is better. That's more important. And so even if your finances become more jeopardized because you have to sort of fess up, it's better to do that and then work out an acceptable arrangement rather than to continue in this kind of program of deceit.
Right.
Now, if you had to vote up or down on this big beautiful bill, given the Musk critique, given the bill has good things, but it obviously also it doesn't do enough on the spending side, my view is go for it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think we should go for it. I think we should give people a relief in taxes. I think that the economy will grow from it. Once we go through the midterms and we win, like, a red wave, hopefully, then we can go in and actually study it a little more and maybe make a few more cuts. But we can't do that right now. We don't have the House, really.
I mean, in fairness, Congress is taking up some Doge cuts. Now they're pretty modest, right?
Yeah.
The first round is basically $10 billion, which, by the way, is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money in the big scheme of things.
Yeah, because it's B and not T.
Correct. Well put. But I think that, hey, look, taking $1 billion away from NPR and PBS, how great is that?
No, that's wonderful.
Right?
Wonderful.
Slashing a bunch of useless USAID and foreign aid programs,
wonderful.
Awesome. So, like, a lot of these priorities will get sidelined if the bill crashes into the rocks. And by the way, these are a lot of things that Trump campaigned on, right? The Keystone Pipeline, unleashing energy, making the tax cuts permanent, securing the border, getting rid of all those excess IRS agents. I mean, all of this is in there.
Yeah.
So a lot of the priorities of our side are in this bill. And so I say that having looked at it more closely, on the balance, it's a very good.
I like it. I mean, I do like it.
You drew to my attention